Hey David, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Well, interesting is certainly a word for it. We will see. I have some investigation to do at the start to see if the whole grove is just ruined. If it's not, then we're going to have to try a couple of things. See what works. We're gonna kind of have to play it by ear because it's honor mode, so I can't do testing off stream or anything like that. You guys are gonna get to see me do it entirely live. Hey Lord Henry, welcome. Yeah, it's been an entire week, and that's the interesting thing about doing an honor mode playthrough live on stream, is that it's a cliffhanger for me too. Like I say, I can't go try and find out how to dig my way out of it off stream. So we'll see what happens. But one way or another, I'm not going to lose the grove. This is the situation that we are in right now. Doesn't have anything to do with gameplay or anything like that. It has to do with triggers. And the necessary cutscenes that take place at the start of the game can interrupt things that you try and trigger manually, just because the game prioritizes character backstories and interactions over other things. And I think that's, like I say, what I'll probably would cross that stream when we come to it if the grove is completely lost. Hey Ostermer, welcome. Well, I don't know as if it was a bug. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to blame Larian for it, but I've gone back off stream. I started a completely from scratch Dark Urge playthrough on Tactician, just not in honor mode, and played through all of it, and I was not able to replicate what happened with not getting arrested on that in any of the testing that I did off stream. I was never able to replicate Aaron popping out of the middle of nowhere and becoming hostile. I was not able to replicate any of that, so I don't know what has caused it, but whatever it is, but we're going to find a way around it. If today's live stream is just me continuing to play the honor mode run, and then things are magically fixed next week by me playing through another honor mode run up to that same point where it all works out like it's supposed to, then we're just kind of wait and see. These things, what I will say is that my longer honor mode playthrough, which I deleted, which was in Act 3, and my personal honor mode playthrough, which is running parallel to this one, these things don't happen later on. It's really all this stuff at the start of the game, where the game is trying to introduce you to characters and their backstories and all of that sort of stuff, where triggers can get a little messed up if you're not long resting every 5 minutes to get them all out of the way, which is hard to do in honor mode when you just don't have a lot of the camp supplies you need to be able to do that. So once you get past all of this housekeeping that the game has up front, then a lot of these other tactics work quite a bit easier. But yeah, it is a little strange. Like I say, I was not able to replicate it. So, kind of see what happens today. You'll kind of see how I plan on going about it. I'm not gonna go in with disguise stuff at the start. I want to see how broken the grove is. So I want to see if I can even approach the front gate at this point, or if the attitude toward one of the characters in my party is so broken that I can't even do that. I want to see if people in the grove are automatically hostile toward me if I'm even able to get in through the gate, because that is going to determine how the playthrough progresses at that point. If the grove is completely locked out because everyone is hostile, then I will begin finding other ways to still utilize the grove, and that would include taking individual characters in, because attitude is character based, it's not party based. So taking a different character in and seeing if I'm able to interact with the grove or not, and just leave those particular characters back at camp or outside of the grove. And then if none of that works, then seeing if disguise self works and changes the attitude or not. But the first part is just seeing if the grove is completely lost to normal interactions or not. If it's not, then we will begin investigating how to reset attitude in the grove, because when you go to jail, when you get arrested, it resets your attitude in the area. So I may try and get intentionally arrested by trying to pickpocket Aaron or something like that and see what happens. If I can get my attitude completely reset, then we're back to square one. If I can't do that, if the whole arrest mechanism in the grove is just broken and anything that you do is going to lead to the grove becoming hostile while you're there, then again, we'll just kind of skip the grove for now and go do other things, and I'll deal with redoing all of that and getting me back to that same point again. But yeah, it'll be somewhat systematic here at the start. It's not going to be the most exciting gameplay, but it's going to be an interesting test of some of the mechanics in the game. Because like I say, my personal playthrough, I didn't play it at all this week. I left it right where it is, which is partway into the Blighted Village. And I'll go look at it and see exactly where it is, but if there's too much content missing, then I will just start over another playthrough this week and play it up to the point where we finished today. It really just depends on how broken the grove is. I would love to have tested it and gone through all of this off stream, but can't do that with honor mode. So. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode number 4 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode gameplay series. I'm Commander Jarval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on an admin note, as if Larian was reading everyone's mind, they released a community update this week concerning patch 7. They explained a little bit about what it was going to entail, and they also kind of laid out some of the things that we had heard Sven say and that sort of stuff, but he wrote it out in a community post for everybody about the future of what Larian's going to be doing. The short story is that patch 7 is being worked on, and they are working on 3 major things. The first being new endings for evil characters, regardless of whether you're playing a Dark Urge character or not. If you've played any other character and you've chosen to go an evil route through your playthrough, they're going to have more ending cinematics and that sort of stuff to flesh out those interactions. The second thing is that they are working on crossplay. We had talked about this last week, and it sounds like they're going to continue doing that. It sounds like they've invested a bunch of time in trying to get crossplay to work, and they are still working on it and hope to have that as part of patch 7. We'll kind of see how that goes. Crossplay is, especially with the modding community, is very, very difficult to implement. Very few games do it well, so we'll be anxious to see how that plays out. And speaking of mods, that's a third thing that Larian said is going to be coming in patch 7, and that's that they are finalizing the official modding framework to allow mods to play nice with each other. I'm assuming that means also some sort of console modding program and or support that allows you to install and or use pre-done versions, or at the very least to cross-play with modded saves, stuff like that. So we'll kind of see how all that plays out. Again, not much more information than that. The details don't get more into that, so we're going to kind of play it by ear and see what they do. They also mentioned that they are going to be keeping up with more bug fixes and narrative continuity fixes and that sort of stuff that have been introduced and they've been made aware of. So we're going to be continuing to see the support that we all knew was going to be continuing for a while. But patch 7 and the stuff that they're working on should be some fairly big changes for the game after that. So looking forward to see when that comes out. I think that's it for the admin notes. So on a recap. So last week was unexpected. The ending of, or I should say the ending of last week's episode was very unexpected. The way that our interaction with Alfira played out, I was not able to replicate ever again. I created a new Dark Urge playthrough offline that was not in honor mode so that I could save and test, and I went geographically to all the same places. I did the interactions in the same order. I watched my live stream and hit pause and went and did those same interactions using the same text choices and everything up to the point where we first tried to knock out Alfira. And I couldn't replicate the series of events that happened at the end of last week's episode. So I don't know what's different. I don't know what has changed, but either way, things ended in an unexpected note where we were not able to trigger a cutscene with Alfira, and that is specific to the Dark Urge playthrough. And we have, at the end of last week's episode, turned at least one member inside the Grove Hostel, and we're going to jump in here to where we left off last week and see how badly things have gone wrong inside the Grove. And again, this is an honor mode playthrough, so I can't do this testing off stream. I can't do any of this. So some of this may be, you're going to be watching in real time as I go through all of the testing for this. It might not be the most exciting gameplay, but it will certainly be a delve into how the mechanics of the game work. So, to start off, it's important to realize that at the start of any playthrough, your interactions here at camp with your long resting are very cramped. The game tries to introduce cutscenes in camp to explain your origin character backgrounds and their interactions with you. That's why the first time we tried to knock out, well, we did knock out Alfira, we came to camp and we were immediately confronted by a cutscene with Gale staring at the fire. It's because we had, through different interactions inside the Grove, we had driven his approval up to a point where it triggered the beginning of the romance sequence with Gale. That is something that can be unexpected, and if that cutscene triggers, it may not allow other cutscenes that the game deems less important to trigger in its place, and vice versa. So the start of your game has a lot of cutscenes that pop up in camp, and you're not really sure entirely which one you're going to get, unless you just long rest over and over and over again and make sure that all of your cutscenes that the game mandates for you are out of the way before you try and trigger specific cutscenes in your camp. That's hard on honor mode, especially when you don't have unlimited camp supplies, and that sort of stuff. So what happened was, I think that the Gale cutscene interrupted a sequence, but that doesn't necessarily explain why we tried to take a partial rest or a long rest back at our camp again and didn't trigger a cutscene after that. So we're going to leave camp. We're going to head to the Emerald Grove environs, and we're going to see how broken our relationship is with the Grove. And how we're going to do that is first by starting with Lae'zel. Lae'zel is the one that we've been using to attack Alfira. Attitude is character-based. It is not party-based. However, the entire party can be brought into combat if the attitude of one of your characters is so low that it causes other NPCs to react. So we're going to walk up here to the gate and see if Lae'zel can even enter the Grove again. And remember, there are tiefling guards up here at the top. Okay, so they are not hostile right now. The gate does open. Okay, so we know that Aaron was immediately hostile toward Lae'zel at the end of our last episode, and we had to flee combat to get away from him. I'm going to move up here. There's Aaron, so he's not marked as red. Okay, his icon hasn't spawned yet. Okay, so it has. So he's not marked as red. Let's go talk to him and see what the interaction here is.
This individual doesn't seem particularly fond of you. Perhaps a gift would improve their sentiment.
Okay. So his
Your
attitude
offer appears to be of interest. Let's make it a good one.
is so low that he is going to become hostile the instant that we do anything towards him. Okay, so it's kind of where we are with Aaron right now. We haven't done anything to try and improve Aaron's attitude towards us, but again, and we weren't planning to. In this instance, though, since Aaron is the main one who we're going to end up having a problem with, we need to probably up his attitude here. And we're going to do that by grouping everybody back up. We're going to head to camp. And we're going to respec
I've got a long road ahead.
our bard.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
We're going to do our standard way of improving a vendor attitude.
Dost thou require a new ally? As thou desire.
Okay, and all of this we're just going to leave. It should have kept all of our base choices. Looks like it has. Yes. So we're just going to confirm all of this. We are not going to level up. Gonna head back to the Emerald Grove environs, and we're gonna go back and actually we need to, before we forget about it.
Well, hello. Let's be quick. Neither seen nor heard. A little chicanery.
You see, it's gonna get harder. I forgot to pickpocket him last time.
Just like old times. How can we rescue?
Okay, so guidance doesn't matter. It's just a straight up number. Okay, so we passed.
In testing
So now we will leave camp. And let's go into the grove and improve Aaron's attitude.
Build my castle with bones.
I am enjoying our walks together. Aren't you, Dan? Sure. In silence.
And we're going to improve his attitude with our bard. And there's a reason for that. In that, I'm going to have my bard suffer the brunt of future interactions with Alfira, and I'm not going to have Lae'zel do it. Lae'zel's going to be a secondary damage dealer here, because Aaron...
Individual doesn't seem particularly fond of you. Perhaps a gift would improve their sentiment. Your offer appears to be of interest. Let's make it a good one.
Okay, so we're going to give him standard 400 gold would take him from 0 to 100. So that is 4 gold per percentage point, and I'm at minus 45 here. So now he's at 55. Okay, so now I have 45 left. So that's an additional 180 gold to get me to 100. Okay. So now he's done, and I'm probably going to be okay throughout the rest of the grove now. However, what I want to go do is go talk to Alfira. I'm not going to be able to see her attitude. Because she's not a traitor. Okay, but we still can walk into the grove here. So, looks like things might be alright. Okay, I didn't want this to happen.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning.
What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that? Love. Was that? They do know how to write them in Cormier, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service. It's not every day one meets such a cavalier sinner as yourself.
A true bloody pleasure.
Okay, so I doubt this is going to work now. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's drawn into conversation. Yep. Okay. Oh boy, this honor mode playthrough is just snake bitten. There are 3 locations where the first encounter with Raphael can be had. The first is at the top of the cliff where you find the silver pendant, which we've already visited, and he was not there. And I specifically broke my party apart before I went up that ladder to see if he was going to be there, and he wasn't. The second place you can encounter him is right before the broken bridge that leads you up to the Risen Road, over by the Blighted Village. And that's where I encountered him in my my other honor mode playthrough. This is the third location. However, I've walked through here multiple times before and didn't trigger Raphael here. So Raphael's trigger must be long rest based. However, after a certain number of long rests, he can spawn at one of those locations. So his trigger is hard to identify. But since I had walked through here multiple times before, I didn't expect that he was going to trigger here. If I would have known he was going to trigger here, I would have broken my party, and I would have left one person out of range of this conversation. As you can see now, I can click on any of the characters, but it doesn't move me out of the conversation, because when this cutscene triggered, all of my party members were close enough to Raphael to be drawn into this conversation. So all of them are part of this, and I can't change to somebody else to interact outside of this conversation. If you want to acquire another legendary item in Act 1, the first time you encounter Raphael, you need to have one of your party members not part of the conversation. And then what you do is you wait for the conversation to play out. You get to the first selection point here. You swap to another character, and you have that character attack Raphael from range. And Raphael will disappear. This conversation will end, and Raphael will be gone. A long rest later, Raphael will appear in your camp to start this conversation again. And since nobody's in conversation with him yet, you can cast Silence on him, and Silence lasts for 100 turns, and then you can walk into that silence bubble, and since he can't speak, he can't start this cutscene. And you can start attacking him. You can just start wailing on him. He's got a lot of hit points. He's incredibly hard to hit. That's why the staff that gives you advantage when you entangle an enemy helps make it go faster. Watcher's Guide, which we picked up, which from the sarcophagus in the ruins, will help because when you miss, you gain True Strike, so your next attack has advantage. And before that silence runs out, you can try and knock him out. If you your last set of attacks, you turn on non-lethal attacks and you knock him out, you can loot his body. And you'll be able to take the Hell Dusk armor off of him. And you can get it in Act 1. I can't do that now, because there's no way for me to separate one of my party members and have them attack Raphael from range to end this conversation. So I'm not going to be able to get the Hell Dusk armor here in Act 1. It's just not going to be possible, because this cutscene has triggered and all of my party members are in here. So we just have to play this out as normal, but it's one legendary I cannot get here in Act 1 now.
I'm rather the admirer of the sanguine arts, even if I wasn't quite born under a killing moon myself. Shall we withdraw? We have much to discuss, to our mutual satisfaction. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere. The House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last. Fair enough. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain. Oh, a mere trifle. How dear is one's soul, really? A rhetorical question, of course, but let me venture an answer. It's worth very little with a tadpole in your head. One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all like that. And what is madness but a denial of reality? Still, I have a feeling you'll change your mind before it's changed for you. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease. I've always wondered what a laughing mind flayer sounds like. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
Okay, so again, didn't expect that to happen there. So we're going to miss out on one of the legendaries that's available here. And welcome, Rudy and Phenom. Thanks for both for being here. I appreciate it. And yes, as Lord Henry mentioned, for those of you who aren't aware, at the end of last week, Andrew Wincott, who is the actor for Raphael, won a Best Performer in Supporting Role for a video game at the BAFTA Game Awards, which are the British version of the Game Awards show here. Again, Larian and Baldur's Gate 3 cleaned up, won Game of the Year from them as well, so a very, very well-deserved set of awards there. And yes, Andrew is a great actor as well. Hey Chibi, welcome. So now we need to see what Alfira's attitude is. She has not healed herself.
I need a quick word.
It's still rough, but my song is getting there.
Okay. So, yeah, she has not healed herself, which is interesting. Okay, that's going to make her much easier to knock out. Later on. So, right now, it appears, at first glance, that the Grove is still okay. That we're able to do our interactions here as normal, and that's a good thing. So remember, we did save Arabella. We can now complete that quest here.
You ever scare me like that again, and I'll feed you to a knoll.
Mom, I'm fine. Stop it.
Our little Hellion told us what happened. Thank you. Don't know what we'd do without her. Likewise. Arabella?
Thank you for helping me.
Okay, and you're going to get Chimera's Locket, which gives you Dancing Lights as a cantrip.
It's my job too.
So, let's... I'm not entirely sure what the trigger is going to be for Alfira now, but we've had a couple of things happen. We've had Raphael visit us, and now we're going to go do a couple of other things. And I've been reading online a bit about this, and we did go down here and have our interaction with Edwin and his brother and sister, and we sent them off to the Owlbear Cave. I'm going to go explore this area a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back and knock out Alfira again and take a long rest. Now, one of two things are going to happen. Hopefully, after exploring a bit farther past this area, the specific cutscene we're looking for will trigger in camp. If it doesn't, then another very specific cutscene with Astarion should trigger. And then once that long rest, if that Astarion cutscene triggers, and that long rest is done, then we will go knock Alfira out a second time and try and trigger it then. I don't want to knock her out, or I don't want to go over here and do the thing I know is going to trigger Astarion's cutscene and then have the game override Astarion's cutscene with Alfira's. So I'm going to have to knock her out before I take a long rest. Just period. End of story. She's got 1 hit point now, so I can one-shot her, which means that she probably is not... My attitude probably won't even decrease while I'm doing it. So since we're not going to get into any combat here, I'm not worried about continuing to be level 1. So we're going to go explore the far bank over here, and we're going to see when and or where the exsanguinated boar spawns, because that is Astarion's trigger.
Technique known to few outside Lair. Shall I teach you?
I'll pass.
Okay, now all of this stuff we're going to pick up again. Including all the camp supplies.
Dead goblins. Dead travelers.
Were they heading to the Druid's Grove?
Okay, so we'll just do some searching here. Because all of these are things that we're going to end up selling. Because we did have to use quite a bit of extra money.
Why not have a little fun
Here.
Fun. I fight to win.
And we're going to want to get that back.
What a waste.
Okay, so there's the exsanguinated boar. So it is spawned. Let's go spawn the perception check here. Actually, it doesn't matter.
I have such a headache.
Let's go see if we can spawn the ambush.
There.
Okay, so we did.
Fresh blood awaits.
Okay, so we now know that the goblins are waiting to ambush us. Okay, so we have a couple more camp supplies that we're going to pick up, and then we're going to go look at the exsanguinated boar here. Before we do, we're going to have Astarion refresh our guidance.
All right, what now? Very well. Strange. It looks healthy, but it's stone dead.
The pig's dead, my friend. Staring at it won't bring it back. Come on. We'll never fix these brain worms if we stop and gawk at every piece of carrion you find.
Oof. Here we go with the rolls, chat.
The boar seems to be fresh, only a few hours dead. Examining the corpse, you see 2 small puncture wounds in its neck.
And is it dead enough for you?
We are just trying our hardest to fail all of these.
It's been drained of blood with wounds in its neck. It's been killed by a vampire. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to worry you. They are ferocious creatures. But don't worry. I'll keep watch tonight. We won't have to worry about nocturnal visitors. Now please, let's go.
Okay, so that is the trigger for Astarion's cutscene at camp. Okay, so we know that that cutscene is definitely going to trigger. What we do not know is the coding priority in the game as to whether Alfira's cutscene takes precedence over Astarions or whether Astarions takes precedence over Alfira's. My guess is that Astarions takes precedence over Alfira's. But if it doesn't, and I don't knock Alfira out, then her cutscene is going to trigger, and that's an irreversible choice. That's an irreversible interaction at that point. So I'm going to finish exploring over here. I'm going to go back to the grove. I'm going to knock Alfira out. I should be able to one-shot her.
Something over there.
Then we will go to camp. I'm pretty sure that the cutscene with Astarion is going to spawn. We will come back out. We will do some more exploring. We will then get ready to take another long rest, and before we do, we will knock Alfira out again, and hopefully the cutscene interaction we've been trying to get to spawn will actually spawn at that point. But we will see kind of what happens. Oh, because I'm not leveled up. Like, why am I not able to cast Speak with Animals?
I want to have a word.
Keep moving, stranger. Quietly.
Yeah, conversation in your underwear, always fun.
I told you to go. There's death in your scent, but not in your words. Still, you should go. My friend is injured. He needs rest. Of course he will. And then we'll return home. He calls me Scratch. You can do the same. We were attacked. Cackling, furry things on two legs. And their smell, it was strange, rotten, evil.
You know the creatures he describes. Gnolls.
No, I won't leave him. If it comes to that, I may. Thank you.
Okay, and we know Scratch's storyline. It's going to play out more in Act 3. And we're going to take all of the letters. And we're going to pick up some crafting supplies and some camp supplies through here. And then we are going to go knock out Alfira again. Some people have said that they got Alfira's cutscene to spawn after they had crossed the bridge into the Blighted village. So that is what we are now going to test. But one way or another, what we're going to do is trigger Astarion's cutscene to get that out of the way. then we will come back and we will actually progress through some of the Blighted Village so that we're not just trying to knock Alfira out again immediately. And then we will come back here. So let's... I'm thinking, yeah, I should be able to just continue my level ups here since we've already corrected all the attitudes that we can. So we'll just quickly go through this. For spells, again, it doesn't really matter what we're doing here at this point. Okay, yeah. Level 3, we're going to pick our subclass, and again, we're going with College of Swords. We need to make sure we change our skills before we leave this page. So we gain our expertise, and we're going to add in 3 more. For our spells here, I'm actually going to pick Silence. Going to pick College of Swords. This is going to get us our flourishes, our fighting styles, dueling. None of this matters. Now we can get out of our underwear again. Okay, and now we're all set to go. So let's go. We're also going to head down here real quick because we probably have Andric and Brenna down. Actually, let's not do that because I don't know if once we get in there, if that's going to trigger a timed event or not. So what we'll do is we'll head back to the Emerald Grove environs. We are going to break everybody out of this. And okay, so I can't leave them there. We're going to go in just with my bard. And we should be able to one-shot Alfira here. And if that happens, then I don't think you even get arrested. Because there's no one to report your transgression. It's what I mentioned at the start of this, is that it's really hard to one-shot Alfira at this stage of the game, simply because of her hit point total. She used to have 24 hit points, so you could put her to sleep. I think Larian realized it and upped it to 27 so that you couldn't do that, because once she's asleep, you could automatically critically hit her and one-shot her. Larian's made it a lot harder to do that. But if she still hasn't healed herself, then we should be able to do this. Now, what if we do get reported? We're on non-lethal attacks. If we do get reported, I'm not going to be in hiding here. If we get reported somehow, I don't want this to glitch out possibly again and not be taken to jail. I want to be taken to jail, so it would reset attitudes. So we will try and knock her out here. Okay, so she is knocked out. And yeah, if you one-shot her, Nobody knows about it. And we were doing this. Okay. It triggered.
Hark! Hark! A camp, and Hogma willing. Some friendly faces. Well met. Goblins roughed me up and stole my hose when they heard me singing hatchling love. You wouldn't have half a bedroll for a lost minstrel, would you? I can pay for my board with music, if you care for it. Quil Gruesome, soon to be published in the songbook Affairs in Ancient Abir, Songs of Draconic Love. If I make it to Baldur's Gate with my manuscript, that is. I know. It's not the first time I've been robbed. I am only glad I didn't get hurt.
Okay, so 2 ways this can play out. So just to explain what happens for those of you not familiar with a Dark Urge playthrough. This cutscene plays out, and the triggers, again, I thought I knew what they were, but they obviously weren't. So there must be some ancillary triggers to cause this to happen. But I know you have to talk to Kaga. That is definitely true. This cutscene will not spawn until after you have talked to Kaga. The second trigger, maybe it's walking across that bridge to the Blighted Village. Maybe it's actually finding the exsanguinated boar. And triggering Astarion's cutscene, and this one would take priority over it. Don't really know what that second trigger is, but normally what will happen is this character, Quil Gruesome, will not be here. Alfira will be here in her place. That's why you try and knock Alfira out, because if she is incapacitated, she's not able to come to your camp. And Quil Gruesome, this character that Larian made specifically for this purpose and only for this purpose, will appear here in her place. So Larian put a way in the game for you to actually not have Alfira show up in this cutscene. That's what we've been trying to trigger since the end of last episode, and now we got it to trigger. So this cutscene can play out 2 ways, whether it's Alfira or whether it's Quil. You can allow them to stay with you, or you can turn them away. The end result is the exact same. How you get there is just slightly different. Okay? The outcome is that whichever character shows up in your camp here is going to die. And that's why we've been knocking Alfira out, is because we do not want her to die, at least yet, because that would mean she wouldn't be able to give us the potent robe in Act 2. And if we do decide to keep her alive, we wouldn't have an interaction with her again in Act 3 either. So we're keeping her alive by knocking her out now to deal with Quil. And we're going to allow Quil to stay with us just so that we see a further interaction.
I'll just stay 1 night. Promise. Then I'll be gone. I know I'm ice blood, but I get cold so fast. I need to be by the fire.
Okay. So now Quil is in our camp here, and we're going to go have our quick conversations. And we're going to change an item out. I don't think that's going to matter, but I want to check while we go through this. I could respec again, but I'm not going to.
Need something?
Okay, nothing for Astarion. So Astarion's cutscene, him trying to bite our neck, is not going to trigger tonight. It's going to trigger on the next long rest. Okay, so nothing here. I don't expect that we're going to get a whole lot, but we did have an interaction with Raphael.
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
And now we'll go talk to Gale.
What's on your mind? I assure you it's not. Don't get me wrong, you did well. The somatic component, the verbal component, even the focus on the inner self that invites Mistra in. But I was still your conduit. To perform such a feat alone requires much and arduous study. Yet it is life's most worthy pursuit in my impartial, if not humble opinion.
Okay, we're not going to give him a magical artifact until he's actually gone into his state that requires one. Okay, and now we'll go up and talk to Shadowheart, and that should end our camp conversations.
Something the matter?
Okay. So good. I'm glad we got this to happen. I was tired of beating up Alfira. As much as that may be in keeping with being Dark Urge. I was honestly a little panicked at the end of last live stream, which I'm sure you all enjoy seeing me panic. That's why you wanted me to do an honor mode live stream. But I'm glad we got this part at least out of the way. That's one less thing for me to worry about. So I've just taken a long rest. I don't need anything else, so I'm just going to take a partial rest tonight. I'm not going to give any camp supplies to this.
You open your eyes with a lurch, and you are not in your bed. You stand above a body which is in a state of gore nearly beyond recognition. The body of that scared girl who asked for nothing more than a night of shelter. Her blood covers you, and its warmth feels like the embrace of an old friend. You recall nothing of how you ended up here, but your head pounds and aches.
Okay, so here you have a couple of checks to make, or you can just attend to the body. We're going to try and make these, because they're going to be a 50-50 shot for us. Oh, a little bit less, but we'll see how it plays out. We failed. We failed. I don't even know why I rolled. It's Saturday. I don't know why I even bothered to roll.
In your skull will hardly let you think. let alone remember.
Oh, I really hate Saturday rolls.
There are dozens and dozens of wounds on the corpse. The killer did not stop savaging it, even when she was long gone. And your dominant arm aches. It aches from stabbing over and over. No matter how it appears, the body is there, and her blood is on your hands. The question flows through your mind. Who are you, really, that you could be guilty of such bitter business? Something wicked must have woken you. The contemptible pervert within must have lavished slash after slash upon the girl. But where, oh where could that monster have come from? If only you knew yourself better. You don't have much time for reflection now. You need to act. You may only have a few moments before the others awaken and begin to cast blame for the hot sin before you.
Okay, so you have a stealth check that you can make. Oh ho ho, because of the scale mail, I'm going to have disadvantage on this. That's interesting. In my personal playthrough, this triggered a lot earlier, and I couldn't wear that stuff anyway. So, yeah. Doesn't really matter, though, and you'll see why. Oh, I was going to have situational anyway, disadvantage, so I've got double disadvantage. I'm going to try... I've got 3 inspirations. I'm going to try one more. I don't have to do this. Okay. So, what's going to happen is we're going to get another chance to deal with this here in a bit. Saturday rolls, chat. They are a thing.
Her guts start to spill and flow everywhere as you shift her. You wonder if your misdeed will be noticed.
Kincha, this is some sloppy work. You talk.
Okay, so you have a deception check here that you can make. And this is a lower DC. So I'm going to say it, chat. I can only fail this with a nat 1. Oh boy. I'm really starting to think that Saturday rolls are a thing, chat. I really am.
It is dangerous, wandering around at night. You could bump into anything.
Your guilt is safe. For now. As the Inquisition departs, you are left alone with a familiar headache. Every one of your instincts screams against the saccharine thought. You feel close to fainting again.
Okay, so we've woken up and thank goodness we have completed this. I was tired of this hanging over our head. So we're going to cast Speak with Animals here.
Hope you're keeping well, friend. Master? Friend. I stayed with him until I knew he was gone. I'll never forget him. But I'm glad to have met you.
Okay, so you can see this body, it wasn't just a kill. There was something ritual about this. And we did advance the Urge quest here. This is always a good place to come back and check and see kind of an update on how your personal background is progressing here. So it's very, very, very interesting. But Quil may have grown up to become the age's greatest songstress, but you can be the most prolific killer in the history of the realms. It will be easy, you can do it in your sleep. There are very interesting things ahead for us as a Dark Urge character, and I'm happy to be able to explore this with you without the stress of this encounter hanging over me.
Something the matter?
Okay, so just a quick check. Make sure there's nothing else going on here, and we're going to change out a party member.
Something the matter? It seems like you have ample company already. You'll need to figure out who you can live without before I can join. Wonderful. I was beginning to feel a little left out.
Okay, and we need to check Shadowheart's spell book here. We're going to add in Calm Emotions.
What to do? Another step forward.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Okay, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of conversations here again.
Speak.
Well met.
But every time you take a rest, you want to verify where you are. And now that we've taken a partial rest, we want to go back.
On your mind?
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
We want to go back and spend some gold to purchase 3 more potions of Hill Giant Strength, because those have now been reset.
I'll be keeping an eye on you. Understand?
And we will just verify that Alfira is all safe and cozy here in the Grove again. We're going to turn off non-lethal attacks now. Hopefully we won't need those for a while. So let's go down here and purchase some more potions. From Auntie Ethel. Throw her a heal for the beating. Yeah, I should do something for her.
Hello, Petal. Need anything? Any lotions or potions? Hey, bother.
Okay, so here we have 3 more of them. Okay, and we will clear out our inventory here, and we are going to sell off the shiny chest. Okay, and we will clear out everybody's inventories here. We still have a shovel up here, we do. 5 and 3, so we're good on all of our camp supplies and everything. So we can sell everything through there. And everything through there. Okay, so now we're at 700. All of that is good to sell. All of this is good to sell. So now we'll just clear out our trash bags. And I think that's it. So we'll balance that out. Take one last look through here. Oh, we'll keep these letters. Yes. Okay. Just doing one last check to make sure I'm not selling anything that I absolutely need to keep. Doesn't look like it. Okay.
Take care now, sweetie.
And remember, after every long rest, whether it be a full rest or a partial rest, you want to go back and pick up more of those. I should be...
Keep your distance, darling.
Action, not reaction.
somewhere getting pretty close. To the number I want to be at.
Assume nothing.
So I'm just looking to see where those went.
Pull yourself together.
There they are. So how many do I have? I've got 10, 13, 14 of them. I want to get around 20-ish. So 2 more long rests, and I should have enough of them to continue on until I can get to Act 3. That would take me through 20 long rests. And that should be enough to get me to Act 3. Because you really only need to get to the very beginning of Act 3 before you have access to a better version of that. So let's just go check and make sure Alfira's here. Okay, she is. So, and you know what? I probably shouldn't do it, but... But I'll go help. Okay, so now she stood up, and she completely healed herself.
It's still rough, but my song is getting there.
And she did give us a little thing that said there won't be another warning. Yeah, it didn't show up as a conversation, but hopefully we don't have to deal anymore with any of that. So now we're going to head down this way.
Don't touch me.
Assume nothing.
Okay.
At least things have stayed interesting.
Toward the beach.
Need to find a way forward.
We now have what we need to make this encounter a lot more doable. It's still not easy, but it is, like I say, a lot more doable once you reach level 3. So first, we're going to head over here and deal with this area first. Okay, we'll split our group.
That might be worth a look.
Okay, and then we'll make our way back. And you can make these jumps even if you've dumped strength down to something low. Okay, now we're going to go do a little bit of exploring over here. And we can pick up the polished dagger here.
Just out of view. Swift as my feet can carry me.
Okay, and as usual, you can see Murkon down here at the bottom. Now, there's a way to make this encounter much more manageable. The problem down here is being lured by the Harpies. Okay, that's the main issue here. There's a way around that, and that way is the Calm Emotion spell from Shadowheart. Now, Calm Emotions keeps you from being charmed, which means that the Harpies' song will not affect you. Now, Calm Emotions works in a radius around you, so we can get down close to Murkon, and we can cast this on everybody in our party, including Murkon, so that none of us will ever be lured by the song. However, there's a caveat to that. And this is something that I learned a couple of months ago when I was trying to figure out why the fight with Marcus went so badly in the Last Light Inn on the Paladin livestream. When I tried to use Shadowheart to cast Sanctuary on Alfira, and it didn't work. It turns out that time stops for your characters when you are in conversation with an NPC. However, not all of your characters will be in your party will be in conversation with that NPC, depending upon which NPC it is. Raphael drew all of our party members into conversation at the same time because we were all close enough to him. Some NPCs, Murkon included, only the character that talks to Murkon is going to be drawn into conversation. All the others are out there in the world, separate from the conversation, and time is still advancing. So if you cast Calm Emotions, which lasts for 10 turns, and Shadowheart is not drawn into conversation, Calm Emotions will be ticking down the entire time you're having the conversation and the cutscenes with Murkon here. So when you cast Calm Emotions with Shadowheart, you need to have Shadowheart talk to Murkon to make sure that time stops for Calm Emotions. Otherwise, by the time everything finishes, Calm Emotions may have run out. And then you may not get a chance to cast it again. Depending upon your reactions and all of that sort of stuff. So there are also two other things you need to worry about. One, we're trying to keep Murkon alive. The Harpies are going to, one of them at least, is going to want to fly back here. So we still need to protect Murkon. And to do that, we're going to use Sanctuary and cast it on him. Now, Sanctuary is not a concentration spell. You can use it as a bonus action. So Shadowheart is going to use one of her level 2 spell slots to cast Calm Emotions, go into conversation, and then the first chance she gets, she's going to cast Sanctuary on Murkon so that he can't be targeted and the Harpies focus on us. Okay, so we're going to go down here. We're going to get everybody grouped up.
Please.
Okay, and I'm going to see... Yeah, see, Calm Emotions works on everybody here. You can see Murkon becomes highlighted. So I'm going to cast it and immediately go into conversation.
Shh. Listen.
A sweet melody beckons you. It vibrates with magic. A Harpie's charm. The suffocating yearning suddenly fades as the spell breaks. You are free.
No. It's just a bit of water. I only want to listen. Just a little closer. Yes, everything's gonna be fine once I get there.
Okay. So, what? Oh, because I cast Guidance. That was a mistake.
I will have your head, Harpy.
Okay, that was a huge mistake. I cast Guidance, which is a concentration spell, which overrode Calm Emotions.
Let's spill some blood.
Okay. And yes, Longstrider would be helpful, but normally it doesn't matter here, because the Harpies come to you. But here, I'm going to have to move to them. But I just need to get my party grouped up.
Time to move.
For now.
Talk to me.
So, the first thing that I'm going to do is cast Sanctuary on Murkon. With my bonus action. Now I'm going to move Shadowheart in here because Calm Emotions doesn't have a big radius. So I'm going to move Shadowheart in here.
Got to move.
I'm not going to be able to get my Bard in this. Okay, so I made a huge tactical mistake there. In this. In casting Guidance overrode Calm Emotions. And I was not able to get to a point where I could cast Calm Emotions and get everybody in my party. So we're going to have to deal with the fallout of this. But at least now I've got Calm Emotions on. Now, one thing that Calm Emotions does is this Harpy here who's singing is just going to keep singing. They are not going to stop. They are never going to do anything else, even though most of my party's not affected by it. So that means ignore this Harpy entirely. Focus on the others that are able to move around and do damage, because this one will not do damage to you. It will continue to try and lure my Bard, but it won't be dealing damage. The others will be doing that. So those are the ones that we need to focus on here. Unfortunately, this Harpy is threatened, so I would love to be able to sneak attack it and get the extra damage on it, but it's more important that I go after others, and we're gonna try and just beat down the ones that are the one that's already hurt.
Let's finish this.
As we go through this. See, here's what I mean. The Harpies come to you. You do not necessarily have to worry about Longstrider in this fight, because they are going to actively move toward you and try and make an attack. So we need to start dealing out damage. This one's going to be moving next. If my Bard does not pass the saving throw. So I want to try and remove this one no matter what. So I'm going to jump over here. Oh, come on. I need to kill this. I don't want to use Action Surge on this one, but I needed to kill it.
My path be true.
And I'm just going to ignore that one. Archon's going to disengage and dash. Can't be targeted by the Harpy anyway, because he's still under Sanctuary. Okay, so I resisted, which is good. I'm going to just ignore this Harpy here. And I'm going to do Slashing Flourish ranged. Okay, it's outside. Let's move out of the way of this. I'm not going to trigger an attack of opportunity here. This is going to allow me to attack two different targets. And I missed both at 75%. So that was nice. And like I say, that one's just going to keep singing. So I'm just flat out not going to care about it. I've got disadvantage on both of these. I'm threatened. I can't see that that's going to trigger an attack of opportunity. Let's try and move out of the water here. Wow.
Shall we cut and run?
Okay, I forgot to turn off toggle dual wielding. Let's not do that. I do want to just focus one down, though. I should have used Dazed first. Would have removed the +2 bonus to armor class. We'll do that next turn. Tactical mistakes, chat. You just can't... I need to start thinking some more instead of trying to play this like balance mode. Okay, am I threatened? I'm not. Okay, so target's too close there. Okay, that worked out. I guess hopefully making up for the 2 misses last turn. Okay.
Over here.
Why? Pathing. 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 Okay, so it doesn't have that on. Okay. Oh, because his bonus action was already used. Astarion might die here. So we're going to... Oh, because I already used my bonus action. Overall, you are not playing this great. At all. Okay, so... The Harpy cannot take reactions. They can't get up there.
Don't waste a step.
So it can't give opportunity attacks against me. So I'm going to take the high ground here and wait for my next turn with her. So shouldn't have been a save. He was immune regardless. So now we can start this off. I want to have everybody in position here though before she wakes up, so to speak. So we're gonna pommel strike here to start off with. Okay, that's dazed. So now our armor class is down to 11. That's another 10% hit chance for everybody. I'm gonna turn off dual wielding here. I should be able to get sneak attack damage. Perfect. Yeah, keep saving. I'm all in favor of you passing that saving throw. Okay. So now...
Can't give up. Not now.
Okay, missed.
Let's turn someone inside out.
I am fury. I am death.
Okay, so now here... Saturday rolls, chat. Saturday rolls. Oh, she rolled a 5. Which was the absolute highest she could roll and still miss. So now we're here. I could definitely make sure this works, and I might as well, because I'm going to take a long rest after this. So
let's have some carnage.
okay, so a couple of lessons learned there. I need to be a lot less cavalier with the use of guidance. I'm used to just clicking it with Shadowheart because I do that 99% of the time. And I need to really start thinking about that spell more. because it can get me into serious trouble. So let's go talk to Murkon here.
What's up for discussion?
Are they gone? Who are you? Wow. I'm Murkon. Oh no. I had to get the gold from the nest. Mole will be so mad. I got to go. Wait, you should meet Mole. She'll be grateful you helped me. Find a boy called Donny. Tell him you want to see the dragon's lair.
Yes, that is exactly right, Lord Henry. Guidance can get you killed. It's so disgusting to think about, but that's one of my big lessons learned there. I need to be a lot less cavalier with the usage of that spell. I need to think more about the consequences of utilizing it more than I do. The second lesson learned there is that you need to think about your action economy to maximize your damage dealing capabilities. And that means utilizing your weapon actions, utilizing your other class actions and things like that to be able, at the start of your turn, to be able to increases the chances to hit. Because if you don't, that may lead to you end up getting stuck out, not being able to deal that one last point of damage that ends up killing one of your party members. Or leading to a party wipe. And it's stuff like that I really need to be thinking about more, rather than just the typical hack and slash style that you're able to get away with in
What's next?
in balance mode, but you are certainly not able to get away with in honor mode. And silence works good as long as you know exactly which harpy is the one that's going to activate it. The problem is that there is a non-zero chance that that harpy that's sitting there on the bottom level is not the one to start singing first. There is a chance when you start that fight that one of the harpies is going to spawn on the ledge up here. All three of my harpies, this one rolled first on initiative, so it flew down here to attack me and then moved over here. There's a chance that that harpy right there will be the one that starts the luring song. And I've had that happen multiple times in playthroughs. So if you cast silence here, you may get all three of these, which is good. But if that one starts singing, your silence spell didn't do anything for you. So the other thing that silence can do is, and I need to go check this because it's been a long time since I've played it with silence, is that it will snap that harpy out of their singing, and they will move outside of the silence area and then start singing again afterwards. So it saves you a turn of being lured, but it might not save you multiple turns of being lured. So the much safer way, I think, and that certainly is a viable strategy, but I think the most safe way to go about it, since they don't cast any spells other than that, is to use Calm Emotions and just not override it with Guidance like I did. Okay, so we'll bring Lae'zel back. And then we're going to go in and we're going to talk to Mole. Oh, you under silence and then just utilizing ranged attacks for the entire thing. Yeah, that's certainly a viable strategy too. Because like I say, what happens is that they will come to you. Then you'll just have to deal with the one that is still singing afterwards. But yes, that certainly works too. And we'll do one last search up here around the corner, because there are... Okay, so nothing up here. So we've finished the beach, yes. Okay, so we're going to make our way out. We're going to go up and we're going to meet with Mole. Have we already met with Mole? No, we have not. So here's Donnie.
Very well.
Here's the conversation option that opens after you rescue Murkon.
He nods, then reaches for a concealed hatch.
Okay, and now we can go down in. Okay, so here...
Oh, enough waiting. I crave
now we need to find the one pixel. Where this works. Okay, I don't have to do this. I guess since I am taking a long rest, I don't have to worry about it.
Nothing hurts anymore.
You can jump across there with Lae'zel. You just have to find the spot. There's like one pixel over here somewhere where it will actually trigger her jump to work, and the same coming back. You don't have to use Enhanced Leap or something to do it. But since I'm going to be taking the rest anyway, it doesn't matter what I do with my action economy from now on. And we have another way up here. This is the hole down behind Mattis, down the ladder behind him. So if you gaseous form or wild shape or something to get, you can come in through that direction. And here's Mole.
Well, look who's come to visit. My kids say you've been busy since you got here. Murkon says you got him out of a tight spot with some Harpies. Gotta say, I'm impressed. You saved Arabella from the Druids. Don't know what those bastards would have done. And thanks for going easy on Sylphie. Not many marks would have done the same.
There is one more option there. That if, and I can't remember the tiefling's name, but the one where she stole the locket. If you side with her in that encounter, Mole will mention that down here as well. So there are 4 possible tiefling interactions that you could have done up to this point that Mole will mention. I think we did the locket one working out in a much better way than siding with her, but either way, just letting you know what other options can happen here.
And we're happy to be helped. Now, what can I do for you? We're saving up for a better hideout when we get to Baldur's Gate. Why? You planning on telling me stealing is wrong? Won't turn down free money. I've got operating costs you wouldn't believe. Come see me in the city sometime, huh? I'll repay this and then some. See you around, maybe.
Okay, we are going to have much more interactions with Mole.
I had a feeling you'd be back.
Mole is also a trader. And you can get elixirs of poison resistance here. This is one of the earliest reliable places to get elixirs of poison resistance, which can be very, very useful in your playthrough. The elixirs of bloodlust are also incredibly useful. So again, having Mole here, this is a good early game place to be able to get them. These, once per turn, when you kill an enemy, you gain 5 temporary hit points and an additional action. That lasts until long rest. That is like gaining action surge every time you get a kill. Let alone the 5 temporary hit points, having an unlimited action surge is very, very powerful. So I'm going to make sure that I stock up on these. Now, I'm not going to buy enough of these where it's worth upping Mole's attitude here with me. I'm not going to be spending 4,000 gold. It would take me 400 to up Mole's attitude level, and I'm not going to be spending 800 gold here, and that's the rule of thumb. Is 2 times what it costs to up their attitude. If you're going to spend more than that, it's worth it to do it. I'm not going to be spending that much. These are only, 100 total between them. And I'm not going to sit here and completely stock up on them for the entire time. I am probably going to buy 3 sets of it, though. Just to make sure that I have a decent stock of them to begin with.
Anything else? You've been a friend to us. Come back anytime.
Elixirs are one of those things which are really not utilized very much in your... You certainly can use them.
Oh. Hello again. Mole's in charge here, not me.
In your balanced playthroughs and that sort of stuff. However, they just simply aren't needed. In honor mode, however, they are very needed. So, whenever you get a chance to stock up on them, make sure you do it.
You don't look so tough. Mole fought off a hobgoblin all by herself.
Hey, listen. I'm not saying I didn't have the whole amulet situation under control, but I didn't think I'd get to keep the damn thing. So, thanks. Thanks a lot.
So it was Melly. If you would have ended up siding with Melly and said that she didn't take it, then Mole would have mentioned that. Just siding with him and having him give it to her doesn't trigger that conversation for Mole.
You came! I have... Here! Mole said I should thank you properly for the Harpies. So I wrote you a story. It's about you. I hope you like it.
I'm not going to give you any spoilers, Lord Henry.
No, everyone's got junk. Worse than junk.
I'm going to keep things under wraps until I do them, and I have an opportunity to explain it. So we've finished up down here. So one thing that we actually want to do here
I had a feeling you'd be back.
is there's an opportunity for another quest here. Now this quest, normally you're going to end up skipping. It's not done very often, and the reason for that is because completion of it in certain ways can turn the entire grove against you. And we're gonna at least start it up so we can talk about it here.
I do, as a matter of fact. Revenge. You saw what those bastards that run the place were doing to Arabella, scaring the precious mite. I want to steal that big, shiny idol they're all chanting at. The important thing is to get it away from them. That ritual's gonna get us all killed. And we can sell it once we get to the city. Thing like that's gotta be worth a small fortune. Sure. When we sell it in the city, I'll make sure you get your cut. Be careful. They look as brittle as old bark, but they're vicious. Anything else? You've been a friend to us. Come back anytime.
So, as Lord Henry suggested, I will pick up the quest here. The quest is to steal the sacred idol. And if you remember in the conversation with Arabella and Kaga, Arabella tried to steal an idol, and that's what got her in trouble. That idol is here, in the center of the Emerald Grove. And it's the idol of Sylvanas. Okay? Now, you can see all of the druids here are obviously utilizing it to focus their powers for the upcoming rite. So, stealing it is, one, really hard, and two, if you get caught doing it, it turns the entire grove hostile. And that goes really, really badly. Or it can turn the entire grove hostile. So, again, something I'm trying to avoid at this time, but you can see that the quest marker here is pointing toward the idol of Sylvanas here. But it is marked as steal. Everybody's looking at it. So this is why it's a quest that most of the time does not get dealt with. Is just because of the negative repercussions, as well as how hard it is to actually make happen. So I do want to check. So last stream, did we go in here? We did. Yes, we took care of all this because Pandurna's standing up and awake. So I think we've done.
You say that like you're looking forward
everything
I could use the target practice
here. Let's check Damon's inventory here before we rest.
How long until Roland shows off his thunder?
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Okay, so we don't have any scale +1s. We do have some +1 bows and things like that, but for the most part, nothing very impressive and or useful here for us.
Watch your back.
Okay, so we will sell that off just because we can. We do have some other stuff down here we can sell off. Okay. And we did buy out Auntie Ethel, right? Since we are getting ready to take a long rest.
Hello, Petal. Need anything? Hey, bother.
So yes, we did buy them out here.
Take care now, sweetie.
Actually, I want to go back in there.
Hello, Petal. Need
I could do this
Hey,
later, but I
bother.
might as well do it now. Going to buy at least 1 potion of invisibility.
Take care
I
now,
think I've got
sweetie.
1 in my pack as well. And now, let's take our long rest. And we're going to take an actual long rest this time to get our action economy back.
Damn thing. It has to open, surely. It has to do something.
Shadowheart's attention is consumed by a strange box that she turns over in her hands. The box is inscribed with glyphs similar to those used by the Githyanki.
Okay, now this cutscene was not actually in the release of the game. This was added during one of the patches. So some of you might not have seen this because it's never been in any of my previous playthroughs.
In an instant, Shadowheart hides the box from view.
It's nothing, trust me. Beautiful evening, isn't it?
Okay, the remainder of this cutscene plays out the same way that it could have during previous conversations with her.
You deserve honesty more than most. But please, don't ask. I can't promise that'll be anytime soon, but thank you, all the same.
Okay. So normally that cutscene is part of another more involved one where you can actually convince her to tell you more about it and what she's doing. They separated that out and added that beginning cutscene as something entirely separate. So again, that's another benefit of being able to play through from the start here is you might be able to see things that you haven't seen
Something the
before.
matter?
That Larian has added while they've been fleshing out all of the cutscenes and narrative animations in the game since launch.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Speak.
Well met.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so let me think what we're going to be doing next. No, I'm going to leave Shadowheart with me. So we'll go ahead and go to bed, and we will see if we trigger another cutscene here. I'm going to save the raspberries if I can.
Tonight, you can't chase the thoughts of that poor girl you killed from your head. You wonder what she looked like as she died. Squirming, skewered in abject agony. Your body barely complies. You feel such rushes from your thoughts of the dead woman. Why did she die? The mystery gnaws at your pounding heart.
Milady? Jubilant day! I have found your vile self at last! Sceleritas fell. Your loyal and ever-adoring butler. I followed you, my dear rotted master. We have been parted so tragically long. Oh, one hell of a butler. The most unprincipled servant you could hope for. You have always struggled to conduct yourself properly without me. I found you following the stench of that bard. She reeked across the coast like a piece of dog muck on the road. Such fine work could never be done by a wretch like me. Anyways, I come once again bearing a part of your dreadful inheritance. You earned this iniquitous prize through your great show of exceptional violence the other night. I'm sure Master will be better soon. A fellow of your fine breeding is never down for long. I cannot wait until your next act of shameless barbarity. Though I would love to regale you with your past triumphs, I cannot. I am forbidden to interfere. Our betters will not allow it. Be true to yourself, my lady.
Okay, so the Dark Urge is progressing its quest line. And we had an encounter with Sceleritas Fell. We're going to have more interactions with Sceleritas Fell, and each act has its own Dark Urge requirement or interaction for him, and each time he will bestow a gift upon you. So Act 1 was killing either Alfira or Quil, depending upon whichever one shows up in your camp. Act 2, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But like I say, each time he will gift you something, and in this case, he gifted us the Deathstalker Mantle. Now, this is for certain types of builds. This is perhaps the most overpowered item in the game. Once per turn, that means at the start of every turn, when you kill an enemy, you shroud yourself in primeval darkness to become invisible for 2 turns. It resets every turn. This isn't a once per long rest or a once per short rest thing. Every turn, you have the capability to do this. Now, where this becomes incredibly overpowered is when you are able to utilize an attack from invisibility, because it lasts for 2 turns. What that means is that you can kill an enemy, go invisible, end your turn, and then at the start of your next turn you are invisible. You are hence attacking from invisibility, which means that you gain advantage, which also for your rogue classes means you gain sneak attack damage. And if you can combine that with other certain items, you can guarantee that that's going to be a crit when you do it. If that attack kills an enemy, you immediately go back into invisibility. So as long as you kill enemies on your turn, you can't be hit. It is a god mode for you as long as you are able to kill an enemy every turn. The other thing that makes this incredibly powerful is when you combine the synergy of this with something like fighting in darkness. Because then whoever you have wearing this doesn't necessarily have to fight in the darkness and be blinded, or be wearing a ring or something to give them the ability to see in darkness. They can kill an enemy outside of the darkness, go invisible, and then while you are standing in the darkness softening up all those other enemies, they can finish them off outside the darkness and remain invisible every time they make a kill. And that allows your assassin, Gloomstalker, Ranger rogues, or your thief, open hand, or shadow monks to be incredibly dangerous in this game. It is an incredible piece of gear. You are only allowed to get this if you are a Dark Urge, and you can get it very, very early on in your playthrough as the Dark Urge, because all you have to do is come to the Emerald Grove, get the triggers to get either Alfira or Quil into camp, and your next long rest, you will come up with it, and he'll just gift it to you. We're going to see much more of this as we go along here and how it's used, but the best usage of it is to be able to use that invisibility to gain sneak attack damage on an enemy when you might not otherwise get sneak attack damage. Okay, so we're going to see this play out a lot more as we go through this. So now we've woken up. I'm going to just assume that nobody else wants to talk to us. Okay, and we will leave camp.
This is ridiculous.
We will immediately go back to Auntie Ethel, buy up 3 more.
No, Petal. Need bother.
Hill Giant Strength Potions.
Take care now, sweetie.
We will
I'm just sad.
Wait.
immediately head up this way. Sorry, I get turned around down here. Go talk to Mole again and buy 3 more, or 2 more, 1 of each potion, elixir of poison resistance, and bloodlust.
Have to keep going.
And then we will go out exploring again. And this is one of the things that, if you're looking to maximize your chances in a Dark Urge playthrough, you're going to have to spend some time up front, especially,
you'd be back.
prepping for future adventures, so to speak. Okay, so Bloodlust didn't spawn in here this time. These are a random set, but he's one of the few that's able to use or spawn the uncommon sets of potions here. But we do have fire resistance, which I'm going to buy.
Anything else? You've been a friend to us. come back anytime.
Okay, and now we will head back out. So with, like I was saying, at the beginning of your honor mode playthrough, you're going to be stocking up on a lot of things. And that means that it might not necessarily, I'm going to be spending a bit more time here on certain things to play them out. Whereas I normally wouldn't do that on stream live. But here you're just going to kind of have to see it and kind of work with it. So oh, she wants me to talk to Zevlor. Kaga does. We're not going to do it, but we will advance the quest. And then we will head out to the Blighted village.
No, sir. But if there's a clear path past those goblins, they'll find it.
Yes.
Oh, we haven't been down here and talked to Zevlor. So once he got in.
I heard what happened. Thank you for protecting the child. If the druids are this far gone, then it's not just goblins we have to fear.
So we can risk violence here, or face it for certain on the road. Quite the choice, isn't it?
You saw what they were willing to do to a child just for trying. It's Korga's influence. Without her twisting things, I believe the druids might see sense. A low thought, but I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered it. But the druids would slaughter us. We'd have to get close to Korga, within striking distance. I can't manage that. But they've already let you pass once. To get these people to Baldur's Gate? Everything. I'm still hoping Korga can be swayed from this madness. But if not, leaders need to make tough decisions. We do what we must.
Okay. So, I have an option here to complete this quest a different way. Instead of exposing Kaga, I can just flat kill her. I'm not going to be doing that, but there is another option for how to complete this. I'm going to go up here, pick up all these camp supplies. I'm going to take even the rotten food. Rotten food weighs very little, and it's still worth a gold piece. So it is worth picking up and selling in honor mode. All of this stuff in here, I can come back and pick up later.
Used to think the goblins would kill us the second we set foot outside. But after hearing what you did at the gate, well, I still think they'll kill us. But at least we can put up a fight. Well, we came through Avernus. We might not look it, but we're tough. Who knows? Some of us might even make it to Baldur's Gate. There's optimism, and then there's stupid, hun. Plenty of us fell to monsters already. I don't see the rest of us lasting long out there. But if you're so sure we will, why not put a little gold on the line?
Remember this.
Excellent. And since I ain't one to leave a debt unpaid, that means we're destined to meet in Baldur's Gate. Looking forward to it.
Remember that I gave someone named Lacrissa 10 gold. Okay, so now out here, no way to get past this waterfall. There's nothing down here, just in case y'all were wondering. But yes, you always look behind waterfalls in Dungeons and Dragons.
One true way. I know they do not. It is my responsibility to cleanse myself.
And you can see you can follow the path.
A vain notion. I am one of many, and will not be a burden to
Okay, and that path will lead you out here over to where Edwin was, which we've already had our encounter with. But it is another way you can jump down here from there. So it is another back way out of the grove, so to speak. It's also a back way into the grove. The encounters that you get with Lacrissa are quite a bit different. If you try and enter in this way,
No time to rest.
because you're not entering through the front gate, and she's been posted as a guard here. You can still do it. Nothing turns hostile. There's just different dialogue that goes along with it because you're entering here through Zevlor's chamber. Okay, so we're gonna head out and go to the Blighted Village. We're level 3. Before we do a couple other things, we want to make sure that we have leveled up. And we are a little more than halfway through doing that. So we want to start concentrating on XP at this point. And like I said, to do that, we're going to start working on the Blighted Village. We certainly do not want to go dealing with the owlbears or the woodwoads at level 3 if we can avoid it. We can certainly do those encounters at level 3. There's just no reason to risk it.
Wrong me how?
There's no reason to make things more difficult for you than they have to be. When it's in honor mode, work smarter, not harder.
Paid for pain. Time's over.
Okay, so we're gonna head down here first and explore this bottom area. I do want to see if they are still standing out there or if they have gone inside.
I'd rather not turn my back on you.
They're still standing out there. So the twins are still there. I don't want to cross over there yet, but I am going to pick up the wooden spoon here. I'm going to leave Edwin's brother and sister there for now, until we come back to deal with the owlbears. Okay, some more things that we can pick up and sell down here, as well as some more crafting supplies. And now we can head back. We're not going to cross the river here. We're going to head back up and go across the bridge because we're going to deal with the goblin ambush here at the start. Since we've taken a couple of long rests, we have our Elithid Tadpole ability back. We've used it once, I believe. If we haven't, we will be using it our first time here.
I don't care for fish. Red meat. Now, That's a different matter. Rare as can be. Dripping.
Well, unless we find a cure, you won't have any teeth to chew it with soon enough.
Get over there! Surround him like! You spotted us! Good! It's like they say. No fun in skewing a pig what doesn't know he's cooked. We got you surrounded. Here's how this goes. You take one step further, and we'll fill your front with arrows. Or you turn around, and your backside gets the same treatment.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Okay, and I'm going to use my Elithid Tadpole power here, not the persuasion option.
You're a true soul. But my mistake, madam.
Your mind lurches, reeling suddenly as if bitten.
You'll get no more trouble from us. Promise.
Okay. So, I wanted to use that because, again, I need to trigger a cutscene concerning those Elithid powers, and you can only do that after you've used your Elithid Tadpole to influence somebody 2 times. So, I can't remember if we've done it once already or not, but if not, we'll have another chance here to do it. Now, this does not
Out of sight, out of mind.
preclude us from killing these goblins. Okay? And I'm not going to let them survive. I'm going to finish them off. But to do that, I'm going to kind of approach this a little systematically again, because the goblins are easy, but yet not easy. So high ground here means that you can knock goblins off onto the low ground, which is great. The booyogs, though, we have one here, and we have one here, can be very, very pesky. They can cast sleep. They can cast a variety of acid splash spells, like Melf's Acid Arrow and things like that, which can cause AoE damage. So this fight is not to be underestimated. You're probably not going to die from it, but you can take a lot of damage from it. So I'm going to
Do you have someone waiting for you?
kind of play this out
A sweetheart, perhaps?
how I would normally do it, except I don't have to bother sneaking around to get in position. I can just walk past them all now.
You must be eager to get back then. Slimmer pickings out in this wilderness.
And this rooftop is a little bit buggy because there are goblins walking around over here, and sometimes they have a weird detection cone that can see through walls. And like I say, things can get a little weird on this rooftop here.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this off. With an attack on the booyog here. And I'm going to do a defensive flourish. Melee here. On him. Or her. Okay, landed a crit. Rolled first. Now the Booyog has 9. This tracker died. What happened there? Oh, I did a slashing flourish. I didn't do a defensive flourish. Okay. My fault. I guess it worked out. in that I killed it. Wow. Okay. Well done, me. I guess my horrible planning has worked out in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and take out the Booyog here. We're going to be able to do that with a sneak attack. We do have sneak attack asking us. Okay. So now my initiative has started. The one thing that the cape does not do is trigger while you are outside of combat. It only triggers while you are inside combat. So that first attack you make is not going to put you into invisibility when you make it. Okay, what it is going to do though is reset all of that stuff, and I moved back out of the way and I shouldn't have. I should have tried to make an attack on the tracker here.
Delicious.
Okay. So I did end up killing him, and you see, it triggered invisibility. So I was planning to kill this goblin tracker, go invisible, and that would set up sneak attack on the other one. Or I was going to kill the Booyog here, which set up sneak attack on this one or this one. Don't really have to worry about that though, because I am now completely invisible on this turn, and I'm going to start making my way toward this rooftop. I don't know as if I'm even going to need to.
Ready for anything.
But we'll see. So we want to get up here. And so that angle won't work. That angle won't work. Might be able to knock him down through this hole here. And you see that detection cone that popped up? That's from these three down here. Okay, so that's not either. Maybe a little bit. More this way. I'm almost there. Just needs to be lined up. I know I can knock it off the roof, but I'm not gonna play with it anymore. Okay, so
I'm ready.
Shadowheart is still out of the detection cone. %94 chance for the kill.
I'm ready.
Don't really care that much about the word companion. If I kill the sharp eye, it's going to disappear. since I am going to be taking the rest anyway. I'm going to let Astarion deal with the sharp eye here. We're going to use our bonus action to pommel strike the warg if we can. We can't. That would have lowered it by 1, so another 5% chance to hit. Okay.
Ready.
So, wow, that's close enough for the warg to hit me? No, it's not. Say, let's not let the warg hit Shadowheart if we can avoid it. Okay, so it's just coming after Shadowheart no matter what.
Time to kill.
So, Astarion, what is that? 21 meters. So I should be able to make it there with a dash. Hey, I can't. Why is his movement? I thought his movement speed was 11. It must only be 9. That's not a problem, though.
Quickly.
I'll just do ranged. Okay, and now I'm invisible, so I gain advantage, which means I can have sneak attack damage applied to this. Now, in that case, it wasn't a kill. However, this is where you utilize this by softening them up, so to speak. So to illustrate that, what you would do is you would attack that enemy with somebody else first.
Time to press ahead.
Why does that look like I would just jump down there? Am I going to take fall damage doing this? That is the stupidest thing ever. That is the dumbest pathing thing I have ever seen in this game. It allows you to just walk off the edge without telling you any of the negatives that are going to happen with that. That is just the dumbest thing ever. I love it. I love how dumb it is. Yeah, I love how dumb it is. Oh, wow. I love it. That is the perfect outcome. It illustrates how horrifically bad the pathing in this game has been since early access. Then that entire sequence of events right there. Nothing illustrates it better than that. That is just amazing. Oh boy. Larian, you are so funny.
No time to waste.
Yeah, it's a feature in honor mode. I love it. Okay, thank you for the critical miss. Appreciate that.
Act fast.
Okay, so that would generate an attack of opportunity, which I don't want, and I'm too far out of range for a healing word. And this is disadvantage because it's too close. So not a whole lot of options on what to do here. None of it really matters. Okay, so where is he? Here? Oh boy. honor mode. It's a thing. Disengaged. Andy rolls a crit. That's outstanding. This just gets better and better. Can we please knock him away? Or... Calm. Just stay calm. Stay calm.
Moving.
Still too far. Kill him.
Yes.
Come on.
Blade close.
Switch characters.
Yes, let's.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Okay. Lesson learned. It doesn't matter how simple the combat encounter seems. This game is just going to do things to you. What did I miss? 6 or 7 65% chances to hit there? Yeah, it's just a thing.
Off we go then.
It's just a thing.
On my way.
Okay. So... let's do some looting down here.
Such a grim name for such a beautiful flower.
I heard you mumbling that line to yourself earlier. It needs more work.
Fortunate for his... Wish I had a bag of holding.
Yeah, I'm picking up the fire wine barrels so I can send them to camp. So I guess we'll head up here and loot on the roof. Okay, the moss-covered key is going to be here. Come back down, loot the other rooftop. Okay, and now we'll come down here and we're going to take care of the lone goblin that is patrolling up here.
A knife in the dark.
See him right there.
Hello, you. Nice and easy.
We're going to do this with the Astarion. And we're going to keep our distance here. Actually, I can't remember if this blocks detection cones or not. It does. Okay, so that's close enough for us to go into turn-based mode.
You sought a fight, and now you have one.
Okay, now I get all my actions back. Okay, so we can do a little bit more pickup stuff over here. Okay. Okay, and we're not going to venture over there.
Go.
We're going to deal with Lump a little bit later. We're even looting the rotten food. Okay, we are going to lockpick. Actually, we need to make that swap again. Now we can lockpick this. Oh, missed it. Heard the sound. Lockpicking is not that big a deal because you can try it again with thieves' tools. That one passed. And you don't have to lockpick this. It's sturdy, but if you can cause enough damage to it, you can break it. Because the important thing here is the haste helm. And this is another big upgrade for Astarion, because now his movement speed is upped by 1.5 meters for 3 turns at the start of combat, and that allows him to move to multiple or to more enemies to possibly get to one where he can kill it and trigger invisibility. So Astarion becomes your mobility specialist, so to speak, when it comes to this playthrough. And now we are going to not go near this yet. We're going to go around the back over here. And where are we?
Ready for anything.
So we're still good. We're just short on hit points, which we can get back. Okay, I'm going to pick up the plate. Okay, and then coming around the corner, we have the sleeping bugbear over here. Now, because it's sleeping,
let's have some fun. Step careful.
This attack's going to be a critical hit. And I want to add in sneak attack damage to this crit to start off with. Okay, now that he's up, finished him off. Okay, rotten chicken eggs, all of this stuff gets picked up.
Nothing.
I'm gonna pick up the extra shovel.
I need to rest. The sunset can't come quickly enough.
Okay, and now I'm gonna go loot this building. Okay, because there's another set of XP that we're going to have access to fairly quickly, because remember, we're keeping an eye on our XP here, right? We want to get up to level 4, which is going to open up a few more options for us to be able to more easily deal with enemy encounters here.
Maybe I need more pockets.
The cooking pot weighs too much, just in case you were wondering. That's why I'm not picking it up. Okay, Highcliff's Journal is going to finish the Masterwork Weapon quest. Okay, and we can make our way through here and loot this room. And again, ropes, light hammers, torches, especially. Torches for their weight are a lot of gold. And we can loot this tracker. Don't forget the old key here. That's going to give you access to another area down below. Okay, and that will finish off everything here. So we're going to head back around the front and head down through the shabby wooden doors. Now in here, again, just loot everything. Doesn't matter if it's rotten food, doesn't matter if it's ropes or brooms or anything else, just pick it all up. Again, you will be amazed how quickly one gold piece adds up. But things like trap disarm toolkits, for instance, 25 gold for a trap disarm toolkit. So it's stuff like that that, like I say, individually you don't think it's much, but all you're doing is clicking a button under take all, and you're gaining, I mean, it takes you literally a split second to do it. Okay, so we'll head down here. Oh, so they put a sickle in there now. I was wondering if they were ever going to do that. Interesting. We will drop that off. Actually, no, we won't. We'll go sell it. It was always puzzling to me how the Finish the Masterwork Weapon quest uses certain types of weapons to complete the quest. And some of those weapons are incredibly rare in Act 1. Like the sickle. You just don't find it from vendors. You don't find it anywhere. So I was like, why do they even have that in here? And I always thought that maybe Larian would add in these weapons sitting in a crate somewhere down here, so that you would find them and have the option to use them, and it looks like they've done it because there's now a sickle here in that chest, and that's one of the 3 susser weapons: the sickle, the dagger, or the greatsword. I'm wondering if we're going to find, well, we already found a dagger. I wonder if we're going to find a greatsword sitting down here in this room somewhere. Okay, so here...
I wonder what the next move is.
Going to cast guidance.
It's never quiet. What path lies before me?
Before I walk too far in, my perception there failed. My investigation check there was successful.
A long way to go still.
Over there. A trap.
Okay, so I did find the trap there.
Visitors.
Wow, Saturday rolls. Okay, and Highcliff's blueprints here talk about the 3 weapons: a greatsword, a sickle, and a dagger.
They call for Susa bark. If only I knew where to find some.
Okay, so daggers. I'm waiting to see if they've stuck a greatsword in here somewhere. Okay, glass chalice, don't forget that. Oh, this one isn't. They have 2 different types of glass chalices. They have the normal one, then they have the one that looks like it's engraved. And that one's worth 30 gold just for picking it up.
With pleasure.
Failed again. You guys are hearing that sound, right? That little sound that happens during the roll to let you know that you failed it. That passes. If you don't hear it, you know it's going to succeed. Sometimes you will hear the little ding when it succeeds, but it's normally covered up by the dice rolling sound effect. Okay, and here you get the Steelforged Short Sword, so this is a straight damage increase for Astarion, giving him a +1 to hit and to damage. Our first Infernal Iron, which we'll just send off to camp, and another Blacksmith's note here that talks about the Infernal Iron and its sulfuric odor. So that's a straight damage upgrade for Astarion. So Astarion is getting all of the benefits here. Still no greatsword. Smoke powder barrel, definitely pick that up.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't need the bucket. It's too heavy for the weight. There's the short sword. There's some rope up here. Don't talk. Pick up the short sword.
It is, as they say, empty.
Okay, we're finding a whole bunch of weapons. But no greatsword so far. Might as well turn the forge on. I can make it glow brighter too. So yeah, looks like they have all of the... They have the sickle and the dagger down here, but they didn't put a greatsword in here. Again, a little puzzling. You can buy greatswords, so it's not as big a deal, but still a little strange. The cracked wall here, why does it mark as red? And we are going to be going into these areas, just not right now. That's something we're going to be exploring once we've leveled up to level 4. Okay, now we're going to head right across the street. And we're going to deal with these goblins out back here. And I'm going to do this with a different party member.
Careful, I lied.
Because once you've used your tadpole ability, you're not able to use it again until you take a long rest.
Nothing.
So I want to see if this gives me an opportunity to use it or not.
Fine.
Watch what you touch. If it smells like weed.
Okay, so it doesn't look like it's going to.
Look. Keep your paws to yourself, and I won't cut them off. Garbage.
Okay, so we're just going to have an opportunity here. Okay, so I'm gonna cunning action hide here.
Pick to fight. The consequences are hardly surprising.
Oh, and rolled first. Okay, didn't expect that. Okay, but we're gonna head up here.
This will do nicely.
There's invisibility. Going to dash. And the detection cones here look really, really good. So I'm not even going to need to really utilize him again. I'm going to bring Lae'zel in here
Light steps.
to go after the warrior. Yes. Okay. And I am going to be taking a long rest after this, so it doesn't really matter. So I could get lucky with this. I doubt it.
Looking ahead. Time to press
So
ahead.
let's use a ranged slashing flourish here. Get that kill. Outstanding. Two very, very good damage rolls. And don't forget to pick up the great axe.
Let's have a look.
And before we're done, actually, do I want to do that? I think, yes, I do.
These boots have seen everything.
We'll go over and search these crates real quick. Actually, I might not want to do this.
No traps, please.
Okay, so I need to get rid of my encumbrance here. Just like that.
Someone there?
Okay, and I think we actually are going to do this. So out here, we have a sharp eye and a warrior. These two are not to be underestimated. But we will do this final thing here before we end the stream.
With every breath, a purpose.
So I'm going to go attack the warrior.
I shouldn't linger.
Actually, I don't want to do that.
Keep your blade close.
I want to use Astarion. So hopefully we can do well on advantage, and we'll go after the sharp eye. Higher chance of a kill with 4 or fewer hit points.
Your violence hasn't gone unnoticed.
So
It's
roll
about to be
well,
returned in
Astarion.
kind.
Okay, good. So now our first attack here. There's invisibility. So now he's not able to be attacked again. So if we were in combat with multiple enemies out here, Astarion, they're going to wander around and start looking for him. Now they're going to go to the last position he was in, and they're going to do their little see invisibility trick. Actually, I'll just illustrate it.
Let's go.
Does that detecting presence thing and can't find them. So now I don't have to be in hide mode to make this attack.
You sought a fight, and now you have one.
Okay, so now I'm just going to clear the way here. Okay. So that's how powerful that cloak can be. And that was just the simplest of all explanations or depictions of it. That cloak for your sneak attack based characters is just incredibly powerful to have. So the Dark Urge is going to gain some benefits here.
I'll just help myself.
That can make it extraordinarily powerful early game. And this is just one more depiction of that. Okay, so I think that gets us to a good point to end things. So I'm going to save here. in honor mode, just so you're aware, if you go to the main menu or you quit game, it saves again. So I don't have to save every time. There's no way to get out of the game unless you Alt F4 on PC to be able to quit the game without it saving. But off stream, I'm going to do a little inventory cleanup and just some housekeeping things without moving my characters around here at all. And just get ready for next week. But I'm not going to play anything else. I'm just going to do inventory management. But I'm really happy with the way the stream went today. We are able to figure out the grove. I was panicked about that. It worked out the way we wanted to. Things are progressing how I want them to progress again. So until the next time that we get a panic-inducing screw-up, I'm happy. So I hope this was all very interesting for all of you. And again, as always, thank you all for being here. Without your support, none of this would be possible. Until next time, which is tomorrow for the Paladin livestream, fare thee well.